Let's start with something strange. You've seen this before. A room full of people. Noise, laughter, conversations everywhere. Some people are trying too hard to be funny. Some are talking loudly. Some are pushing themselves into every conversation. And then there's one person. Quiet, not performing, not chasing attention. But somehow, the room bends just a little toward them. People notice, even if they don't understand why. They don't need to dominate the space. The space adjusts to them. And the question is, what do they have that others don't? Because it's not confidence the way people think. It's not looks. It's not status. It's not even what they say. It's something deeper. Something most people never build. It's called presence. Presence is not what you show. It's what you are. Most people misunderstand this completely. They think presence is about speaking well, being charismatic, being funny, having social skills. But you've seen people with all of that, and still, they disappear in a room. Why? Because presence is not about performance. It's about state. It's about what's happening inside you before you even open your mouth. People don't respond to your words first. They respond to your energy. And energy cannot be fake for long. The desperate need to be seen kills presence. Here's a hard truth. Most people in any room are begging, not out loud, but internally, begging to be liked, begging to be approved, begging to be seen. And that need leaks through their voice, through their eyes, through their body, even if they try to hide it. You can feel it, and the moment people feel that, something switches off. Respect drops, curiosity fades, because desperation pushes people away. But powerful people, they are not trying to be seen. And that's exactly why. They are. Psychological dependence equals invisible weakness. Let's go deeper. The biggest thing that destroys presence is dependence. Not just emotional, but psychological. Dependence on validation, attention, approval, reactions. If your state depends on how people respond to you, you've already lost control. Because now, you are not stable. You are adjustable. And people can feel that instability. It makes you lighter, easier to ignore, easier to move. But presence requires weight. And weight comes from independence. Silence that dominates without speaking. Here's something most people don't understand. Silence is not weakness. It's a test. Weak people can't handle silence. They rush to fill it. They talk too much. They over-explain because silence exposes their discomfort. But powerful people, they can sit in silence without needing to escape it. And that changes everything. Because when someone is comfortable being silent, it tells everyone else, I don't need this moment to validate me. And that is power. The energy you can't explain, but you feel. You've felt this before. Someone walks in, and without doing anything, the atmosphere shifts. People sit straighter. Conversations adjust. Energy tightens. Why? Because that person carries internal order. Most people are chaotic inside, overthinking, second-guessing, self-doubting, and that chaos leaks. But when someone has clarity, when their mind is quiet, that silence inside becomes weight outside. Reaction control equals environment control. One of the clearest signs of presence is this. They don't react quickly, not to words, not to tension, not to pressure, because reaction is submission. Every time something triggers you instantly, you've handed control away. But when someone pauses, observes, chooses a response, they change the dynamic. Now they're not part of the chaos. They're above it, and people feel that immediately. Self-awareness makes you untouchable. Let's be honest, most people don't know themselves. They think they do, but they don't. They don't know why they get triggered, why they seek validation, why they behave differently around certain people. So they stay predictable, controllable, but powerful people, they've done the uncomfortable work. They've faced their insecurities. They've seen their weaknesses. They've understood their patterns. And because of that, they are harder to shake, harder to manipulate, harder to read. And that creates a different level of respect. The truth most people avoid. Here's the uncomfortable reality. Most people are acting, constantly, trying to be more confident, more interesting, more impressive, but it's not real. And people feel that gap between who you are and who you're trying to be. That gap destroys presence, because presence requires alignment. When what you show matches what you are, that's when people lock in. Detachment creates freedom and attraction. There's another layer here. Powerful people are not attached, not in the way most people are. They don't cling to outcomes. They don't chase approval. They don't fear losing the room. And that detachment creates freedom. They can speak honestly. They can stay quiet comfortably. They can walk away without hesitation. And nothing is more attractive than someone who doesn't need the moment. Every room is a power structure, whether people admit it or not. Every room has a hierarchy, not always visible, but always there. People are constantly positioning themselves through behavior, through energy, through reactions. The ones chasing attention drop lower. The ones controlling themselves rise higher. And the ones who need nothing naturally sit at the top. Presence is not random. It's structured. Why some people always stand out. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's this. They are not split. They don't have one version for themselves and another for others. They are consistent, grounded, real, and that consistency builds trust instantly, because people are tired of masks. A quiet mind is a heavy presence. Everything comes back to this. How loud is your mind? How much are you thinking about? How do I look? What should I say? Do they like me? Because the louder your mind, the weaker your presence. But when your mind is quiet, when you are not chasing approval, when you are just there, something shifts. You stop trying, and you start affecting. Presence is not something you perform. It's something you become. You don't build it by copying others. You build it by removing the need to impress, the fear of judgment, the addiction to validation. And when that drops, something powerful happens. You don't enter rooms to be seen anymore. You enter, and people see you anyway. So next time you walk into a room, don't ask yourself, how do I stand out? Ask yourself, am I stable without needing anything from this moment? Because your answer to that is your level of presence.